You know, it's crazy because how life is. I remember watching, he was watching a CNN special, if I'm not mistaken, it said 1 out of every 18 black males in America commit suicide. I never for one thought that, you know, that statistic would include anybody I knew, let alone my best friend that was watching the tape with me.
This is Kevin's room. I'm Kenneth. It's Keith. You asked him what's Kevin's room? Well, Kevin was our brother, and he passed from suicide. So we decided to start an organization for him. We figured that was the least we could do.
Is, you know, depression is something that affects people that we don't understand. I mean, you know, oh, I'm depressed. You know, right? How do you gauge that? I mean, you know, because your girlfriend leaves you, you're depressed, or sometimes you're just sitting in a room alone and you don't understand what your place in the universe is.
His senior class was actually my first group as a senior class sponsor. So I met Kevin. He was on my senior board with me. Him and Noah.
I met him my freshman year. It was my freshman year of high school. I was a transfer from another school, and he was the first guy that introduced himself to me. And we had a class. I was new, didn't know nobody. He came right up to me, and I was sitting in the back, and he came right up to me and just like, "Hey, I'm Kevin."
Then I had one class with him, I think the entire time I had school, and it was environmental sciences with Mr. Stockwell. We tracked stupid points for people used to just, it was one of those classes where we all got along really well, and most of us knew each other from sports, or I like led the class in stupid points, so. And Kevin was always just kind of like sat back and laughed, and he was, I think he probably kept tally, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was in charge of it.
Mom was, we were in fifth grade, and the sixth graders were lining up across from us to go into the next class. And this girl that, I mean, he barely knew her name, you know, was just standing right across. And, you know, in fifth grade, the sixth grader, you know, it's intimidating. But he just goes right up to her, asks her to be his girlfriend. She's like, I don't even know your name, you know. I mean, ever since that, you know, I admired him and realized, you know, next to him, it was going to be a wild adventure every day.
Kevin loved music just like I do. We both, you know, written and recorded music. So when he told me that, we decided to, you know, record a song in my dorm room. So when we did that, that was probably one of my most memorable moments with him.
I talked to him like he was my son, and the parent pointed it out, and he said, you know, wow, you're awfully familiar with this kid. And I said, well, he's like my son. I could literally give Kevin the keys to my car, tell him to go home, walk my dogs, feed them, stay at the house, do what you want, and come back with my car. I trusted him that much.
We went to prom together. I asked him to prom because Kevin was kind of reserved. So I was like, I mean, why not? So I asked him. He said, yeah. So we went, and I remember I was so nervous. It's like, what are you nervous about? Like, you look beautiful. Like, my date, it's fine. So he just always put you at ease, and he was just such a fun date.
I would come to him sometime and ask him for advice. And he would just, you know, tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do, but it was always, you know, the right thing that I should do.
I'd say it's probably one of the closest relationships I've had with students, because in 11 years I've been working here, they're the only kids that I've ever picked up from their house and brought to school. We play basketball Friday mornings. You know, and
So the whole purpose of this film, whole purpose of Kevin's Room doing this documentary, is to show people the effect Kevin had on people's lives when he took his own life with suicide. And he had a lot of family and friends and teachers that he was really close with that didn't understand the decision that he made, and it boggled them that somebody like Kevin, somebody that happy, somebody that easygoing, easy to get along with, smart, good-looking guy can make a decision like that.
Yep, it was the morning we were supposed to go back down to school. We were supposed to all be moving in that day, and
I think if I would have stayed the night, because I was supposed to sleep in his room, so I wish I would have just stayed the night, and maybe he wouldn't have did. Maybe he wouldn't have done it that day, and maybe me staying the night would have changed his mind. I don't know. That's.
I was asleep. I woke up to about 7 to 8 missed calls. So I decided to start calling people back. And the only person that picked up the phone was Raymond. And he told me, and I didn't believe him at first. I thought he was lying.
Yeah. To actually go through with it is, you're not a weak person to go through it. To be able to actually make that decision and follow through, I can't imagine. I mean, that takes a lot of strength to say.
I was in disbelief, and I thought, man, you got the name wrong, because I never thought that Kevin was that type of person. I mean, I guess you don't know. I saw a part of Kevin that was different from that life. So I saw a positive person, a confident person.
Yeah, he was always smiling all the time. I don't honestly. I mean, when I heard about what happened, I couldn't think of a time when he seemed sad, ever.
One of those things I just didn't believe when I first heard it. I'm like, nah, man, not my guy. And it was like, nah, yeah, that's true.
Suicide's hard. A lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people want to just say, oh, things will get better, you'll get out of your bad mood, or you won't be depressed anymore if you think about something, but sometimes things run deeper than that, and I don't know if we ever can really grasp all the answers.
For someone to take their own life is like, it's just like somebody killing somebody else. It's a serious thing. I mean, like, my thoughts about it was I never thought that people were like cowards or something like that, for killing themselves and nothing like that. So I always took it serious, and after it happened to someone so close to you, it just made it more serious.
Suicide is a great hidden element of mental stress, of mental illness. People seem not to want to talk about it, and I think it's so prevalent in our society. There's so much stress, and there's so much pain, and people are living with it, and sometimes they don't know how to cope. I don't think people want to die. I think they just can't live with the pain any longer.
I always assumed those people all had a tough life. Let's just, take the easy way out. But, now that it's happened so close to me, I try not to, think that way anymore, because I don't know what anybody's going through. I'm not in their shoes. I'm not with them every day or certain people. So I try not to be so judgmental, like I was before Kevin's passing.
First year, and I created a video to remember all of my students. So I called it Senior Confessions, and we videotaped everybody in class, and they got to leave behind a message. And I got a phone call a few years later from Sydney. She was just so thankful that she had that video to remember Kevin by. I was glad that at least I gave them something to help his class remember them.
A bad day is a bad day. It's a bad day. A bad week is a bad week. A bad month's a bad month, but you're still gonna get smiles from strangers, and you're gonna get smiles from people that love you. And we need the people that are in our lives. We need you. And that's the only advice that I can give from where I am, because I wouldn't be able to be here if I didn't have the people that love me, and the smiles that I get from people, and the shoulders to lean on. And you're always gonna get something positive from another person eventually. And sometimes you're just not looking in the right place.
And to say that suicide is a coward's way out, it's not a coward's way out. But it's a decision, and hopefully with resources and what you're trying to do here, you can show somebody else that there are options.
for the people out there who are depressed, I'd like them to know that you're not the only one, and there are people out there to help you. Whether it be a family member, whether it be a colleague, whether it be a professional, talk to somebody. Because if suicide's your choice, you don't get a second choice.
Give up. Hold on. Tomorrow is another day, because when all of this was going on, I wanted to give up. And I could not think about getting through the next day. I had to take it 1 second at a time. I got through that second, then I got through the next minute, the next hour, then the next day. So it does get better. It's a new reality, but you can be happy again. You can live a full life again. And you just have to make something good out of the things that you've gone through. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Kevin. I've been knowing Kevin since.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
Leave it be.